Welcome to Appropriations 101. As I've said, we're going to have all the Cardinals in, the chairman of the various subcommittees on the Appropriations Committee, to discuss a little bit about their bill and what's in their bill, what their bill funds, and some of the challenges that they might face in their bill. Today we have Chuck Fleischmann from the great state of Tennessee, who is chairman of the Energy and Water Appropriations Committee, a committee near and dear to my heart and all of those people in Southeast Idaho. But it's great to have Chuck with us today to discuss a little bit about the energy and water bill. He has a great interest also because Oak Ridge is in his district, one of the great national labs that we have. So welcome, Chuck.
Mike, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And as you alluded to, Mike Simpson preceded me in the role as Energy and Water Chairman, loves the state of Idaho, has the wonderful Idaho National Laboratory, which is run actually by the same company, Battelle, that runs the great Oak Ridge National Laboratory. So we share the same passions for the energy and water bill, funds all the Department of Energy, the Army Corps of Engineers, but what a wonderful bill. We put a great bill out in 2024. We're going to work hard on our bill in 2025 as well.
Yeah. It's been difficult because when we took over, we decided we had to stop the excessive spending that had been done the last year, the 4 years before that. So we're actually reducing spending.
We're doing that, absolutely. And we are sticking to the constraints, the rather rigid constraints of the FRA, which is very important. So there'll be no side deals. Obviously, we're in tight fiscal times. So we're going to come up with a fiscally responsible energy and water bill, as you will do in your subcommittee, and the other Cardinals will do that as well.
Yeah. It's always easy to spend money. It's a lot tougher to cut back on spending and stuff. But we have some challenges, as you well know, in the Interior bill, and you did a great job putting it together last year. But we got the Department of Energy is one of the premier research departments in all of the federal government and all of our country. And they're doing work both on nuclear energy and new advanced design reactors and all of those types of things. But all of that takes money. And oftentimes we can't do everything we'd like to do.
Well, you're absolutely right. Also, and perhaps most importantly, it funds the NNSA, the National Nuclear Security Administration, which keeps and actually prepares our nation's nuclear arsenal for the ultimate customer, which would be the Department of Defense. Of the 17 labs, some of them are predominantly weapons. My lab at Oak Ridge is only about 20% weapons, but the Great Sandia Lab, Lawrence Livermore, Los Alamos, I don't want to leave any of them out, but your lab in Idaho does tremendous work and has for decades, as is Oak Ridge. Our national labs are our national treasures. There's 17 of those, but the energy portfolio is important. The water portfolio, the Army Corps of Engineers, most of our friends and constituents will have an Army Corps project in their district. I have the great Chickamauga Lock in Chattanooga, but I'm sure you've had some great projects in Idaho as well.
Yeah, we have. And it is, it may be that the Army Corps of Engineers is the greatest construction budget that we have in this country, because if there's 435 legislative districts, there's at least 435 projects they're working on. They work on someone on some project in every district in the country. But the Army Corps, as you know, the rules and regulations, oftentimes working with a federal agency, sometimes can be frustrating for people, but they do great work.
They do great work, and they build our locks, our dams, that keep our waterways running all over the great United States. So critically important. And these are great men and women who actually serve in the United States Army. They happen to be in the Corps of Engineers. What's great about many of these men and women, they're former Army combatants. Many of them are Rangers. Truly, truly outstanding people at all ranks.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the nice things about the Army Corps, I call it a nice thing, but it's one of the ways it's funded, is that we have a harbor maintenance trust fund, which is those people that use the harbors pay a tax into it, and that goes into the harbor maintenance trust fund and then is used to dredge harbors all across the country. And the other one is the Inland Waterway Trust Fund, which people that barge, so forth, on the Mississippi or on the Columbia pay into that, and and then those funds are helped used to make sure our inland waterways are dredged.
Mike, that's so important. This is just not money given away. This is money on a 50-50 cost share.
Yeah.
And these trust funds are well funded. We use these monies so importantly. The dredging of many of these harbors is so important. As America continues to grow its economy, we have to have vibrant ports that are deep enough to take these bigger, newer barges, and we are funding that all over the United States. And again, the best part about it is industry many times will come to us and they will offer actually to pay more use taxes to make sure there's sufficient funds. And we do our fair share and meet them on a 50-50 cost share like the Inland Waterway Trust Fund from the federal budget.
Yeah. Well, Chuck, thank you for being with us today and talk a little bit about the energy and water bill and what we're facing with that and how we're trying to meet the demands of the country while being fiscally responsible.
Well, thank you, Mike, and I appreciate your years of service on the Appropriations Committee. You and I have a bias. The Appropriations Committee, in my view, is one of the best committees in Congress. It's truly outstanding, and it serves the American people well.
And to tell you the truth, as you said, it is, I feel the same way. And it is, while we have our differences between Republicans and Democrats, it's pretty much a bipartisan committee. We try to work together to address the concerns both in my state, which is a highly Republican state, and in other states that are more Democratic states. And that's the way it should be.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you.